That rock, Lubin kept him in the corner right there. That was a punch against the temple. Doubling the shots, 3 shots in a row, he was out on his feet. No head movement from Erickson Lubin.
And by the way, sensational job by the referee, James Green. I mean, look at this. He was about to get destroyed, and Green saved it.
Virgil Ortiz severely knocked out Erickson Lubin, but most of the action took place outside of the ring. Everyone in boxing is talking about the fight that happened right after the bell. It was the biggest fight of the night.
You know, we're ready for the best. We want to fight the best. Boots, come over here.
That's right, that's right. Oh, let's go, man.
The angry argument that was caught on camera was seen by everyone, but the brutal fight that happened behind the scenes was not. What shocking things did they say to each other that showed this point of view is much deeper than people thought?
That time. Huh? It's that time. It is. It's that time. Yeah, it's the perfect time too.
Oh yeah,
it's a perfect time.
I'm ready.
We're gonna get everybody what they're looking for too.
Oh, yeah,
Straight like that.
Yep.
Let's get that money.
That's right.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Boots, Ortiz is the next fight. Obviously, Boots is here. What's your prediction on that fight with Ortiz and Boots?
I don't know. It can go either way. They both exciting, and for them to fight at this younger age, it'd be a great fight.
What was that about?
No, I just was telling you, this basically just sum it all up. Like, y'all whole team been talking too much, and that what they have been doing over these last 6-7 months. There's no more talking. Go ahead. Hopefully they sign on papers and make this fight happen, because I feel like this is the biggest fight in boxing. And
What's your final prediction for tonight's fight, Boots?
After the fight was over, Jaron Ennis was already moving. He didn't wait for someone to ask him to come. He walked through the ropes and hit Virgil Ortiz in the face. A lot of people were worried. It was easy to feel how angry both men were. No one showed respect or said good job. It was an order. In the end, Ennis told Ortiz exactly what he had said at the time. "Let's finish it." It didn't feel warm. He didn't ask. He told them that the time is now, and drew a line to make the point that Ortiz didn't win the division just because he won. We won't talk about it any further since this is his area.
What did you two guys say in the ring and everything? I know everybody heard, but when you two were talking to each other face to face, what was said then and there?
no, I said let's make it happen. I said it's the time. The time is now. It's the perfect time. They got a lot of hype around it. And like I said, I'm going. We're gonna make. I'm making it happen.
February, May, or where are we doing this? Where are we going this? Where are you thinking about?
Whenever they ready. Whenever they ready.
Eddie, when do you want this fight to happen?
Whenever. Listen, it's November now. I think March time's
Do you think it's an early stoppage?
Why don't you guys take over Cinco de Mayo?
I think Luba was kind of like out. I mean, it was a good stoppage. It was a good stoppage.
Did you expect that type of performance from Ortiz to knock out Lubin that early? A lot of people were saying it's going to finish. It was not going to go past 10. Did you think it was going to go by the second?
Would you
Like I
have
said before, Luba can't be fighter. Yeah, I thought it was gonna go a little longer, but he got the job done. But like I said, I got something for him, and I'm gonna show the world I'm the best in the world.
What stood out the most for you from Ortiz, even though it was 2 rounds? What stood out the most for you for Ortiz? Beating him in 2 rounds. Obviously, you can't take much of it, but what did you stood out the most?
I mean, it be the top guy that fought everybody. That's about it.
But this violent debate didn't just happen by chance. This was very important to Ennis. He had been hearing talk from Ortiz's people for months. This was the last blow. He wasn't just there to make the winner mad. He came to borrow money. It was about being rude. His goal was to show that he was the best in the world and make everyone shut up. He even said that he told Ortiz that he would be punished for the whole thing. It wasn't all work. There were no more fights in the ring. It was just the start of the fight between Ortiz and Ennis, but what we saw in the ring was just for show. The real fight happened behind the scenes, away from the lights and the fans. It happened in a squeezed-in space. When the stress inside the ring spread to the outside, it meant that the pining was over. At this point, the crazy talk got an answer in person. Ennis said even more to make his point clear. Ryan let loose during a fight between the two best young welterweights in the world when no one was looking. Ennis was making a very clear point. You can't act that way or run away from this. Games are no longer a good idea. Even stranger, Virgil Ortiz showed that Ennis was right. Ortiz did an interview right after the fight, just seconds after this tough personal battle. Everyone in boxing thought he would call Ennis out, but he didn't. When Ortiz picked up the mic and called out a new rival, everyone watching was shocked. He called out Jaron Ennis Jr. It made him think of the time when he was a kid and went to the same gym. He called it his fantasy fight. After all that anger and emotion with Ennis, the first thing he did was ignore the most dangerous person in his way. It looked like a great way to pass the time.
The fact that the eyes of 154 were here, I know Charlo was ringside, Boots was here, we saw him in the ring, Spence was here and everything. A lot of the names that have circled you in the past were here to see you in this performance. What were your thoughts on them being here, and which one of them do you want next?
It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, it would be Spence, because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since
AT&T.
There you go, at the Cowboys Stadium, and I just think that's my dream fight. And I don't care what anyone says about it. But anyone else, like I said, anyone can get it respectfully. I just want to fight the best. I'm just a competitive guy.
Who was in charge of the division? Jaron Ennis. What did he think of all this? In the ring, Spence saw one man chase his opponent while another called him out. When asked if he thought he would fight Ortiz, he stayed cool and thought it over. He didn't say what was going to happen. He only said, "I don't know, it might go either way." He told them it was a big fight for kids their age, but he wouldn't side with either side. Spence's weak answer makes things even more mysterious.
EJ, phone me into the crowd. We gotta make this go. Yeah, we gotta get him out. We gotta go, y'all. Just hold on, get you up. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me.
Earl, are you scouting tonight? Are you scouting tonight?
The manager thought Spence was up to no good, but Spence didn't act crazy. Eddie Hearn, who manages Jaron Ennis, didn't waste any time. Straight away, he made it clear that he thought Ortiz would win the fight.
Switching the pace real quick, Crawford and Canelo. I'm sure you watched that fight. What was your overall reaction on Crawford's performance beating Canelo?
Crawford did his thing. He looked good.
His win over Ortiz didn't impress him, and he said Lubin was just a sinful target.
He did what we're supposed to do. I don't know what's going on with Lubin, but Virgil did his thing.
Yeah, I think he got stung really early, like in the first round.
Yeah.
Like he went overhand right, and after that he
He felt the power and kind of teared up a little bit.
Yeah. Boots, Ortiz is the next fight, obviously.
Hearn showed how dedicated he was by hitting Ortiz one last time. Virgil really knows how to fight. He said, "I just like Boots better."
Because he went up 3 weight classes. Were you just surprised?
Nah, I wasn't shocked. Because Canelo's not a big guy anyway. Canelo got it that started at 47 and came up to 168. So, I mean, I feel like Crawford, he walks around probably 169, 170-ish or whatever. So I feel like it was kind of easy for him to make the weight, and it looked good. He handled it well.
The race for promotions had started, and Hearn was ready to add fuel to the fire. There is going to be a crash now that everything is set up. People are on board to show that he is the best and shut everyone up. He calls it a tour. Try to stay away from the person who just challenged him. Virgil Ortiz wants to fight Jaron Ennis in his dreams. There is more excitement than ever before about this fight. We know that Ennis is ready to fight. The real question is it Ortiz? The violent fight going on behind the scenes showed how dangerously bad this hatred is. It might have shown that one man is on the hunt and the other is already running away. Take a quick look at how people are feeling about this fight and what experts think about how likely it is to happen.
Doesn't want to fight Virgil. Boots is not going to fight Virgil next. You know, whatever they say, oh, there's a signed contract already, that's all bullshit. You know, there's Boots is not going to fight. You know, Boots is not going to fight Virgil next. You know, he's gonna show up. You know, why didn't they call us up and invite us to his fight 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? Whenever he just fought recently. You know, you come to ours, we go to yours. We promote the fight. That would have been the perfect idea to do. But you know, they want to show up. You know, and they are gonna show up. That doesn't make a difference. You know, Virgil's gonna do his job. But you know, that's just kind of like trying to get the media, the press to believe that they're ready for the fight. I know they're not. I know they already have a date where they already have, you know, a possible opponent already. So it's all part of the show, part of promoting the event, part of promoting his fighter, and Eddie's doing a great job doing it.
Virgil Ortiz can't beat no Boots Ennis. Virgil Ortiz can't beat no Boots Ennis. I promise you. Virgil Ortiz ain't beating no Boots. When y'all gonna listen?
I just think when they do that, that's what boxing need. And I think Boots will stop either one of them. He just got it's still spade of bills, and he just got too many of them. He can box, he can fight on the outside, use his jab, he can do it all. And that separates the greats from the okay guys. That's just my thought.
Promotion of things.
Well, all the back and forth, I know nothing about. I ain't heard nothing about none of that. The 2 tune-ups, Virgil hand. If you say Virgil showed his hand fucked up, then his hand fucked up. So that means he gonna need some time to get back, which he'll probably be back in the ring like November, December. But if my calculations are right, I think we see Boots and Virgil Cinco de Mayo, 26. I think that's about right. That sound about right. I mean, because Boots got to go ahead and finish whatever business he got to finish, then go ahead to 54 and fight. And then Virgil got to get healthy. I can see Virgil trying to get a fight. I can see Virgil trying to get a fight before he go to fight Boots. Before that fight
if Ortiz and Ennis gets made, and let's see if how that shapes up. I want to know what you think of that fight. Who's your pick in that fight? It's a very, very tough fight to call offhand, man. You know, there's so many possible different ways it goes, but I think it is an exciting fight. Both guys are very, very explosive, and I think it is a dynamite fight to watch. I want to touch on where does everybody think Erickson Lubin goes from here, because everybody seems to think, okay, you want to write him off and say, okay, you know what? And I don't blame you if you do. I kind of am wondering myself, you know, where does Erickson go from here? Because he had a pretty lackluster performance against the previous opponent, Adriel Holmes, when he stopped at Holmes in a very lackluster fight. And then he got blown out of the water here against Virgil Ortiz in a fight where he never got started. And I was convinced that if anything, Lubin, even if he would get stopped, he would go out fighting. He would go out in a shootout like he did against Fundora. But he kind of went out with a whimper. So you got to start to wonder.
I'd expect a knockout like that, and I'm sure Boots didn't expect something like that either. So that's why he told Eddie Hearn, man, you guys stay home, because if you watch him in person, he's a dangerous guy. When you see him up close, the punches and the snap, but you know, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens.
I feel that this was Boots Ennis' first opportunity to actually see Virgil ringside, and he said he couldn't really get a lot of that from that performance because they ended so early. But him being in attendance tonight, what does that tell you, Oscar, as a promoter?
Well, that they really want the fight, you know. So you know, I'll sit down with Eddie Hearn, and you know, we'll discuss a few things, and if we can make it happen, then you know, we make it happen. But I feel that look, when Boots Ennis knocks somebody out in the first round, it's against a top 30 guy. When Virgil Ortiz knocks somebody out in the second round, it's against a top 5 in the world guy. That's the difference. That's the discrepancy there. It's like it's night and day. It's boys and men. It's just a whole different ball game.
What do you think about the next fight between Sonny, Virgil Ortiz, and Jaron Boots? Post your answer below. We'll see you after your next movie.